finals tonight for a Team Singapore victory.
Well, these guys are getting ready to take the plunge, so I'll leave you guys in the good hands of our commentary team of Mark Richmond and Mark Tay.
Thank you very much, Kelly. And we are here at the Median Aquatic Centre as the swimmers take to the pool. We expected the introduction of the officials to be done around about this time, but they have already gotten over the formalities. And here we are with the first event of the evening. You can hear the crowd screaming because Vietnam's golden boy of swimming, Nguyen Huy Hoang, is racing in this, the 1500 meters freestyle for men, which will start off the 31st Southeast Asian Games. Was there a scratch, I believe, in one of the lanes? We will have that for you in a while. And they have gone into the pool. I believe it's Indonesia's Afla Fadla Prawira who has scratched in this race. We hope that it's nothing too serious as he's decided not to swim in the 1500 meters freestyle. We can go through the lineups with you. Team Singapore's first swimmer in the finals is right there, as you see on top of your screen. Adi Zulhilmi Azman. What a big moment this is for the Temasek Polytechnic student. Personal best 16:11:47. Tan Kai Sin of Malaysia in lane number 2, who was second at the Malaysian Open. Nguyen Hu Kim Son of Vietnam in lane number 3, 15:18:87, his personal best, which gave him bronze only at the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. And of course, the leader at the moment, Nguyen Huy Hoang of Vietnam, the only Southeast Asian to dip below 15 minutes in this event. And he did it, of course, by winning gold at the last SEA Games. In fact, he has won the last 2 SEA Games. He's bidding to become only the second to win this 3 in a row after Jeffrey Ong of Malaysia. Prawira of Indonesia scratched in lane 5. Katimun Thonnam of Thailand is in lane number 6, hoping to become the first Thai winner since Towai Setsaton back in 2001. And Sebastian Soon of Malaysia in lane number 7 at the tail end of the race at the moment. He was 5th in this event in 2019 as we've gone through the first 100 meters. And Nguyen Huy Hoang has just gotten started. Mark Che, you've raced in this before, long distance, 1500 meters freestyle. How do you break this down as a swimmer?
Well, thanks, Mark. I remember the first and only time I swam this at the Southeast Asian Games was my first year in 1997. I was 15 then in Jakarta. I was a distance swimmer then, and really what was going through my head is really just to keep a constant pace. You don't want to gas out, go too fast and gas out in the first few hundreds. You want to my strategy was really to break it down, 3 by 500s and try to descend the 500s, and I'm pretty sure that that's something that some of these guys are doing, making sure that they're counting their strokes, maintaining a very even stroke rate, and really in the distance freestyle events, you don't want to use too much of your legs, like what you see in the sprint freestyles in the 50 and the 100s or even the 200s, right, where you see a big splash of water behind in your legs, because the legs are really where big muscles are. You want to conserve that energy, and really it is a 15-16 minute race.
It's a 4-beat kick, which is usually used by Nguyen Huy Hoang in this event, and he's using that to have that body length lead at the moment over Nguyen Hu Kim Son. He's hoping that his fellow Vietnamese would chase him all the way to lowering that SEA Games record of 14:58.14. And this is a swimmer who was just 8 seconds away from qualifying for the Olympic Games last year in Tokyo. In fact, he wasn't happy with his time. These days, just a little over 15 minutes is not good enough for Huy Hoang. He was a silver medalist at the Asian Games as well when he lost out to Sun Yang. So he certainly is, the Asian Games, if it was held this year, I'm sure he would not only just be one of the medalists, but also a favorite to win the gold medal. He has taken swimming in this event to a whole new level altogether. He just judges these races and these laps so very well, Huy Hoang.
Absolutely, Mark. To go below 15 minutes is basically like you're going like 59 seconds every 100, and that's really a world standard. It's world class, and really to come in silver next to like world record holder Sun Yang in the Asian Games. I mean, it goes to show the kind of talent, the kind of conditioning, the kind of training that this guy puts himself to be the best in Southeast Asia.
So going at about 75 strokes per minute at the moment, the leader. events. We have a look at the border. We do apologize, of course. Most of the sports here in Hanoi haven't had the scoring system integrated with the broadcaster, so because of that we won't have times on the screen, but there is no doubt who is leading this, and Vietnam have certainly put the 1500 meters freestyle as the opening race of the Southeast Asian Games, hoping for a 1-2 finish, and 1-2 is what they are having at the moment. Hu Kim Son is especially pleasantly surprised that Afla Fadla Prawira has decided to scrap from this because that gives him the opportunity for a silver. He's already a SEA Games gold medalist in 2017 in the 400 meters individual medley. And for Ardi Zulhilmi, of course, we're looking for a medal. We haven't won a medal in this event since winning gold back in 2011, Teo Chen Ren. In fact, we haven't had a very good record in this event. We've only won one gold medal in the last 40 years and 21 games. And that was Chen Ren back in 2011. So Ardi, if he even manages a podium finish, Mark, you'd have to say that will be some achievement.
Yeah, I think for Ardi, he's also doing really well in the 100s and 200s freestyle. He's just coming of age, right? He's just making the national team. This is, of course, his first Southeast Asian Games, as you mentioned. He's a rookie, this first national team, and he's in the 1005, and he's swimming all the way down to the 100. So I think he has a very packed schedule, and for him to be able to swim through the 100 all the way to the 1005 is quite an amazing feat.
He's picked it up to about 81 strokes per minute at the moment, Nguyen Huy Hoang. And he is, of course, in a very packed program. Talking about packed programs, he is going to be swimming Huy Hoang in the 1500, 800 meters freestyle, which is going to be swum for the first time for the men's at the Southeast Asian Games. He'll also be swimming in the 200 and 400, and also the 200 meters butterfly at the SEA Games. Vietnam's golden boy and their flag bearer at the opening ceremony. Did I say he's also a Youth Olympic Games champion in the 800 meters? This boy has achieved almost everything, and all hopes, especially with the retirement of Nguyen Thuy Vien, now go with Nguyen Huy Hoang. And he hasn't disappointed the home crowd in the first event of the Southeast Asian Games swimming competition. Huge roar whenever he goes and touches the board, as he leads now by a good 15 meters over Nguyen Hu Kim Son. And in third position is Katimun Thonnam of Thailand, the 17-year-old, who will also be swimming a little later on. And this looks like a very comfortable swim. Now, if he's going to go below 14:58, I know the last time, Mark, he didn't have any sort of competition, and yet he went 14:58, 14 in Manila. You feel that if he's going to beat that time, he needs his compatriot in lane number 3 to step it up a little bit, just for him to get those legs going in the final half of this race.
Yeah, for a race like the 1005, it's tough to be swimming it alone. He's like 10 meters ahead of his compatriot. He really needs a big push in order to do it. But these guys, they train they train to know their pace, to know their stroke rates, to know what they need to go. And he's been very, very consistent. He's been clocking a minutes every single 100. We can expect a big finish towards the end. So hopefully, he maintains these 1 minute per hundreds, and then at the end he'll probably sprint to the finish and probably go below 15 minutes.
This will be Vietnam's 5th win in a row in this event. The first country to do it 5 in a row. Before Huy Hoang, Lam Quang Nhat won it in 2013 and 2015. And those times he actually set the marker for the 2019 race. So good and so big he was. There we go, 7:57.74. At just past the halfway mark of this race. Those times, the top 3 in 2019, were the fastest ever returned in a Southeast Asian Games 1500 meters freestyle race. Yet again, looking very, very comfortable. And you'd have to say that Vietnam, of course, and Singapore, the top 2 swimming nations over the past 3 Southeast Asian Games. Vietnam winning 10 in each of those games, but a lot of them have come the way of Nguyen Thi Vien. And with Huy Hoang and the likes of Paul Nguyen, Mark, I believe this is probably their biggest and strongest ever male contingent since for SEA Games.
No, you're absolutely right. I think they've really been prepping to host these Southeast Asian Games, to really go big in their own hometown, in front of the home crowd. I know they've been putting in a lot of effort, training, and as a team focusing on bringing glory in the pool at home. So this campaign has not been just like something that they've thought about over the past 2 Southeast Asian Games, but over many Southeast Asian Games where they really want to do well at home.
Still looking very comfortable and probably using his legs a little bit more as we see a bit more of the splash as opposed to the first 400 meters of this race is Huy Hoang. And that lead is now half the length of the swimming pool over Nguyen Hu Kim Son. Katimun of Thailand still doing well to maintain 3rd position, hoping to win a bronze medal. And just behind Katimun is Sebastian, as Ardi, as we just saw, just coming across our screen right there. In lane number 1, fighting out with Jaden Tan of Malaysia for the bottom 2 places in this race. When Huy Hoang, extraordinary in terms of that long distance swimming. In 2017, he dominated the race and caught up against Lam Quang Nat. In the next SEA Games in 2019, he sprinted away after 400 meters and no one came close to him. And here he is. At least they made it close for 600 meters before now. He is blitzing the field all over again, the way that we know how. He knows how, and all of Southeast Asia will probably get used to it, at least for the next decade or so.
He's been really consistent, Mark. A minute every single 100, and clocking 37 cycles every minute. So I think he's doing really well. I mean, he's been consistent throughout this race, and again, we can expect a big finish from him towards the end. We're kind of like past the 1 km mark. So really good.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward, I don't know if you are, Mark, to a battle going on between him and Malaysia's a very new golden boy as well, Q Ho Yen. Ho Yen himself, very strong in the 400 meters freestyle. That will be some race, and I believe Singapore's Glenn Lim will be taking part in that too.
Yeah. I think the 400 free is a much shorter race compared to the 1,005. It's kind of like even the sprint to some of these guys swimming the 1,005, right? It's like a quarter of the race, and I think for our good friend here in A4, he's definitely going to be sprinting the entire race. The approach is different. Yeah.
One of 7 swimmers to win back-to-back gold medals, and now definitely going to be the first and only the second to win 3 in a row after Malaysia's Jeffrey Ong, who achieved it in 1987 to 1991. And here we are at the 2021 Southeast Asian Games, held in 22, of course. Vietnam's Nguyen Huy Hoang, just a class apart from the rest, meeting the swimmer across right now, exchanging glances momentarily, and that swimmer is in 2nd spot. Kim Son just going past the swimmer in 3rd spot, Katimun, and probably about to lap the final 2 swimmers as well, Adi and Jaden.
Yeah, I think that's quite a battle there. I know Adi would do well really to stick by Jaden and race it up between the 2 swimmers in lane 1 and lane 2.
It'll be interesting to see what Adi's time is going to be as well. His personal best, 16:11:47, which he achieved at the National Age Group Champs in March of 2021, where he finished in 2nd spot. That's him at the moment going with Jaden, both stroke for stroke, trying to ensure that they don't finish in that final position of this race. This will be the perfect start to the swimming competition for these fans who've come up in droves on a Saturday evening in Hanoi at the Median Aquatic Center just to see their golden boy, their hero, Nguyen Huy Hoang. He won't appear again unless he's swimming in the 4x100 meters freestyle at the end of the day. And don't put it past him. I mean, he's got more than a lung, probably 2 or 3 lungs in him. He's probably able to swim the 400 meters freestyle by the end of the day as well, Mark.
And then some.
Yeah. I remember calling his race back in 2016, I believe, at the Southeast Asian Age Group Champs after he won the 800 meters freestyle, and he just got out of the pool and ran to the call room. How do you run after an 800 meters freestyle race? Well, only this boy can do that.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of training that they do. A lot of distance based, a lot of volume. These guys swimming this particular race, the 1,005, are really conditioned athletes. And I think for the many years that Hoang has been swimming this event, he's very seasoned. He's very experienced. He knows what pace he's going. He knows what kind of stroke race he's clocking. And he has this race down to a fine tune. He knows exactly what he's doing. He can swim this probably blindfolded, Mark.
And he probably is this evening as well, because he's been swimming in isolation since the 600-meter mark. Heading into the final 25 meters of this race, Nguyen Huy Huang's already lapped Adi Zulhimni of Singapore. He's about to lap Jaden Tan of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia as well, who is heading into his final lap. Nguyen Huy Huang is going to win his third SEA Games gold medal in the 1500 meters freestyle for men. And this is on a canter. What a performance once again by Vietnam's flag bearer and golden boy. My goodness, those kicks were furious as well, heading into the final 100. I think he wanted that SEA Games record. He didn't have competition to lower that record of 14:58.14. And we will have a look, hopefully, at the time that he's come home with. Hu Kim Son will clinch silver, a 1-2 finish for Vietnam. You couldn't have scripted it even better for the first race, for the home crowd just to get involved in the pool. And in third position, Katimun Tonnam, surely very close and probably beating his personal best of 15:48.08, which he set in October of 2020. So the winner and the time of 15:00.75. Bet you he's disappointed every time he doesn't dip below 15 minutes. But Mark, who would have thought in 2022 in Southeast Asia swimming in the 1500 meters freestyle, those times would be disappointing to a swimmer?
Not me. But I mean, these guys, they're a different generation. I think sports science and training methodologies have changed so much since I was swimming 20 years ago. And these guys, they're swimming times that probably we weren't imagining a few years ago.
I'd like to have a look at Artie's time. 16:11.47, remember, is his personal best, and he's just outside of it. Almost 0.99 seconds outside of it. Jaden finishing in fifth position. Katimun with a very promising bronze for Thailand. Once again, the winner, Nguyen Huy Huang, winning by almost 22 seconds in the first event, the 1500 meters freestyle.